We are here today with Mark Thompson. Mark, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Appreciate it.
It's great having you on here. Mark and I have known each other for years now. And one thing I know about Mark is he always puts out really high quality products. And he's not one of these super hypey guys. He actually puts out stuff that is useful. The product that we're going to be talking about today is something that I know that he wishes he had had for himself uh, years back when he was doing podcasts. But that's not all that this does. This is a software that's going to allow you to take, from what I understand, and Mark's going to help us here today, it's going to allow you to take any kind of audio or text and actually turn it into video. So not only can you get the power of audio, but you can get the power of video as well and be able to drive traffic and sales to it. I'm going to read off the headline here. It says, create visually stunning AI-powered audiograms to captivate your audience and boost engagement. And we're going to dig into that here today. So, Mark, what's this all about and why should we be excited?
Audiogram is a audiogram generation tool. If you don't know what an audiogram is, I'm sure you visually have seen one before. And it's great for any type of audio content. So if you're a podcast creator, if you're doing interviews, or just any type of content creator, and you're looking to convert that audio into videos, we help you to create nice visually appealing videos in the forms of audiograms. So you've seen like waveforms and captions on the videos and nice graphics. That's really what it does. And you'll see here in the demo a visual of all the different template options that we have. But for those people who maybe you don't want to get on camera, or you want to train a voice, so we have a voice cloning feature, which is really cool. So what's nice is I can streamline this entire process. So back in the day when I had a podcast, I would have to manually do these audio recordings, and then I'd have to pass it over to a video guy to create a really nice video. Because as we know on YouTube and on Facebook, Instagram, on social media, people just like video content more. And some social media platforms don't even accept audio as a form. So we need to be able to find a way to convert that audio into a video format. And so you can help cast a larger net, get more engagement, more likes, comments, and shares, and hopefully get more leads and sales from it. And so we've streamlined the process from a manual approach to automating your audio and converting it into video. And then we've added that AI flair, which allows you to do a lot of really cool things like auto generating captions, being able to train the AI to clone your voice. And you could just take a script and have the script read in your voice and generate a video with those captions and making it super engaging.
What I think is really cool about it, you got so many things going on here, but the fact that one, you've talked about video being important, and when we all know that by now that you need to be doing videos, but everyone's always talks about, okay, like to sit down and do a video, like you and I today, we had to like set up, even before this was starting, I was bothering Mark with like, okay, should I use this camera? Should I use this camera? Like you have to think about that kind of stuff. You have to think about like what's in your background. Do I need to clean up behind me? Do I need to make sure that like what kind of a video is this? All these kinds of things like that you have to worry about. With this kind of content that you're able to do with this, you can actually tap into video and you can just use, like you said, you can use audio. So if you have an audio file, you could potentially just walk around and record. It sounds like you could record an audio file on your phone and talk about something and then upload that into the system and use that. Or if you don't even want to do that, you could just write something out or use AI to write something out for you, put that text into the system and have it speak for you. Am I everything I said correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And so I know we've prepared a demo clip that you'll probably insert into here. So you'll be able to see step by step exactly how that works. But yeah, we try to make it as easy as possible. So even if you don't have a script written, you could even have our AI generate it. Just give it a little prompt of what you want the script to be, and it'll output it, and you can tweak it if you need to. And then once that script is created, you can either use your own cloned voice or someone within your company, or really anybody. We'll show you a couple examples of like Elon Musk and Bill Gates, but or you could use one of our AI voice talents. And what's really exciting is, AI has gotten so much better over the last couple of years, and specifically in the audio front. So the voiceovers sound super realistic. There's lots of different, male, female, different dialects and accents, depending on what your market is. So it makes it really easy to generate these clips, and you could even go as far as to have a conversation with someone. So say we're doing this interview, we could actually, create it in AI format, and I could select, I could clone your voice, I could clone my voice, and then select each, like when we're speaking, who is saying it, and then have the AI generate the clip and just do an interview with multiple people, which is super cool.
I'm going to go ahead and play that demo because I obviously people are going to want to see this and hear this. Before I do that, I know that you're going to be doing a special pre-launch webinar before this. So tell people when those are going to be and why they should join.
Yeah, sure. So, what we're doing two different pre-launch webinars. One is going to be on Monday. I believe it's June 9th. And so that's going to be at night, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then the next day, which will be the 10th on Tuesday, which is kind of our official launch day. So there's actually going to be two different pre-launch webinars. We're going to be offering, if you've ever, purchased a product from me in the past, we'll usually do this kind of bundle deal where
Mhm.
it's usually our best offer, where it basically wraps up all of the upgrades and upsells, removes some of the limitations, and specifically removes the need to have a monthly or annual subscription. So it's just a one-time payment. So I'll kind of let that cat out of the bag, but it's usually our best deal. You're going to get a ton more kind of credits and more templates and all sorts of really cool stuff. So I would strongly recommend joining that webinar because that's going to be your best opportunity to be able to leverage and invest into this platform at a one-time investment.
Let's
And then the launch is going to be at 11 o'clock. So that'll be kind of our more traditional sales funnel that I'm sure most people are accustomed to. And that's going to be a 5-day launch through Sunday.
So, guys, if you want, go ahead and sign up for that webinar at that link below. But I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek, and we'll be back in a sec.
Okay, so this is inside of your Audgram account. This is where you're going to be able to see each of the different audiogram projects that you are working on. So you can see on the left here, you have the creation date, you have your title, you have who created it. You also have the status, if it's in draft, if it's currently being processed, or if it's been completed. Then you also have the length, and then you'll have some quick actions here if you want to edit the project, change the name, or delete it. Now, one thing I do want to mention, depending on which version of Audgram you have, you'll be able to have what we call sub accounts. So this is perfect for agencies. So if you're an agency and you're working with clients, you'll be able to create different workspaces. And each workspace could be a client or a different project that you're working on. And then within that workspace, you could have different projects going on. So maybe you have multiple podcasts, or just if you want to organize them however you see fit. So I can click in here and go to each of these different workspaces, and it's going to show all of the different audiogram projects that I am currently working on. So it currently is available for Ultra, as well as if you do purchase the bundle deal. Now, let me show you exactly how easy it is to create your audiogram. So first things first, you're going to be able to click on create new, and then I'm just going to say this is episode 11 just for test purposes, and then I'm going to go into this wizard, and it's just going to walk you through step by step on how to create the audiogram. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to either select the audio or you're going to paste text. Now it just depends on how you want to do this. So maybe you already have an existing audio, maybe you did a podcast interview, or you have some MP3 or WAV file that has some audio content on it. You can go in here and I could click on select file, and I could upload it into here, and it's going to create the captions for me. The other option is to paste text. And so you could either paste text here, or you could even have Audgram create an AI version of the script. So it's completely up to you. So I'm going to show you both. So I'm going to click on select file, and I'm just got this little sample clip, and it's going to process this. It might take a couple of seconds or up to a minute, depending on how long it is. So now that's been created. I'm going to click on OK, and I'm going to click on next.
Two most powerful components.
You can see it has uploaded the clip, and if I wanted to, I can go into the clip editor and I can start to adjust this. Now I'm gonna explain that a little bit in more depth in just a second. But let's just say for now I wanted to take this whole clip, and I'm gonna click on next. And what it's going to do now is going to create the captions for me. So just a matter of a couple seconds, it went in and it created the captions. So that is the first way that you can do it, is through creating the audio clip. or uploading the audio. The other option would be to, let's just do another one here. And so now instead I want to paste text. Or how about this? Let's go ahead and generate a script. And I have a little prompt here, so I'm just going to copy and paste it. So I'm going to say, write a 30-second script for an audiogram giving one quick tip on improving email open rates. So I'm going to click on generate, and it's going to create that script for me. Perfect. Okay, so it says, want to boost your email open rates? The secret might be simpler than you think. Personalize your subject line. With email inboxes more cluttered than ever, adding a personalized touch can make your message stand out. Start by using this. Okay, so as you can see, this just created a really nice script for me. If I wanted to, I can go in here and I could edit it. And so once I like how it is, I'm going to use this, and it's going to add it into the area here. And then I'm going to also scroll down, and now I can choose from one of these AI artists. So we have lots of different AI artists to choose from. You can click here and just hear a little preview.
This is sample voice generated from this voice.
This is sample voice generated from this.
This is sample voice generated from this.
This is sample voice generated from this voice.
And so let's just say,
does it look good?
This is sample voice generated from this voice. Does it look good? If yes, you can select it.
All right, so I'm going to go with, we'll go with Roger here. And so now I'm going to click on next, and it's going to process the text here with this AI voiceover. So it's going to generate that file for me. Okay, so now we are on the, now we're going to be clipping the audio. So I could either take that entire audio, or if I wanted to, I can, move this around. If I only wanted a certain amount, I can do that. So maybe I wanted, from seconds 10 to 40. We also have this option here, which you can zoom in if you really want to get granular, or zoom out, or I can use up here in the timeline and be able to select a specific, time in there. But for this example, I'm just going to use the entire clip, and I'm going to go ahead and play it so you can hear how the AI generated voice sounds.
Want to boost your email open rates? The secret might be simpler than you think. Personalize your subject lines. With email inboxes more cluttered than ever, adding a personal touch can...
So you can hear just how realistic that sounded, guys. A couple other really cool things that you're able to do. So we know that a lot of you guys are going to be publishing this on social media. So if you click on duration, we actually give you kind of the predefined limits that each of these social media websites typically like. So like if you're going to do an Instagram reel, you don't want it to be more than 1:30, or a story would be 1 minute, or if it's a post, 3 minutes. So, or if you're doing like a YouTube short or a YouTube clip or a TikTok story or post. So we've already predefined these limits. So if you have a very large, maybe you're uploading a full-length audio podcast episode, and maybe that podcast episode is 60 minutes. Well, what you can do is you could actually click and say, well, I only want 15 seconds. And it's automatically going to provide you that amount of time. And then you can just drag it to whatever part of the clip that you want to capture. So these are just really nice little shortcuts that you can use to help speed up your workflow. Now, once I have the audio clip that I want, again, you can either turn on or off captions. By default, we leave them on, but you can turn them off. And now I'm going to click next, and we're going to go to the timeline. So now on the timeline, you have a lot of really cool options here. So first thing I can do is I can just keep this. If I wanted to select an AI voice, I'm just going to select. So if you just have one person who's doing the voiceover, all you need to do is you can click here, and I'm going to select, so let's just say Roger, and then I can preview the podcast, and I can just go to next, and it's going to allow me to go to the next step. Now, what's really cool is, what if you had multiple people that are part, maybe it's an interview. And so it's two people, one person is doing the interview, the other person is being interviewed. So what I could do is, instead I could go take that off, and then I could say, okay, so let's just say for this part, I want it to be, Roger. And then for the next part, like with the person who's answering, I could say, okay, well, this part. I'm going to say, well, this is Jenny. And then this last part is back to Roger. So you can start to split this up and have multiple people talking and having a conversation all through the power of AI. So it's really nice, especially like if you want to basically create full length podcast episodes or interviews without even having to do the interview. You just have it done through AI. And so that's how you go and kind of slice up that timeline. And so the other option you do have is, let's just say I wanted to do a recording. I could say I'm going to highlight the text, click on record, and then we have a built-in recorder. So I could just use my microphone. I can, insert my recording. I could start to record it, and then it'll just get added here. So I could do a combination of artificial intelligence voices as well as my own voice. Or you could even upload your own file. So maybe you already have a pre-recorded video or audio clip. And so you can do a combination. So it can be blended between artificial intelligence, you actually recording from your computer, or just uploading a file. So just for this example, I'm just going to go back to the kind of Roger interview, and then I'm going to click on next. And now we have all these different templates that you can choose from. So you can filter by 9:16, 16:9, or 1:1, depending on where you're going to be publishing this audiogram. And so I can just scroll through here and find one that I like. And let's just say that I wanted to use this one here. And I'm going to click next. And so now it brings you into our editor. So now you can edit each one of these different options. So the graphic, the text, the colors, do you want to use a wave? Do you want to use a progress? So I can go in here and just start updating these. So I could say, okay, I want this wave. Or if I wanted to, I could say, I want the progress bar instead. So we can do that. But for this one, I'm going to do wave. And captions, if I wanted to change the main text color, the secondary text color, the text font, the active captions color, which would be like, so as the voiceover is being said, it'll highlight each of those words. And then you have your media. So let's just say I wanted to replace this, and I wanted to, I have this like little podcast graphic. So I can go in here into the timeline, and I could adjust this. And I'm going to say, let's put it right there. And then you have your text. So let's just say, for this one, I'm going to do secondary text. So I'm going to do improving email open rates. I'm going to leave the host there. And then you can see each of your different layers. So it's just like a normal canvas. If you wanted to move a layer above, on top or behind, you're able to drag and drop these different layers. And then you have your background. I'm going to leave the background just because I like that template, but you can change all of that, or you can just do a solid color. Now, what's really neat is we have this intro outro feature. So what I could do is, if I have a podcast, I can go in here and I could start uploading. So here's my intro and here's my outro clip. And so now I could have the intro play at the very beginning and have the outro play at the very end. And then obviously have the meat or the main interview or podcast be in the middle of this clip. And so that's really it, guys. So I can, I've basically customized this how I wanted to. And now I'm going to click on next, and I'm going to export it. So now this could take a couple of seconds, could take a couple of minutes, could take up to 20 minutes. It depends on how long. So we do have a rendering queue. So depending on, how much is in the queue, it may take a little bit of time, but I'm going to go ahead and click on export. We do work on a credit system, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But if I click on export, it's going to go ahead and it's going to add it to the queue. And like I said, it says 10 to 30 minutes, but actually it could take a couple of minutes depending on how the length of your audiogram, as well as if there's other ones in the queue. And so now you can see here, it's in queue and it's next to render. And so I'm just going to give this a little bit of time, and I'm going to refresh the page here in just a second. And again, this is a pretty short clip. It's only 42 seconds long in total with the intro and outro. And we'll hear exactly how it sounds. So let me just wait a second. And actually, while that is rendering, I'm going to go and show you something really cool. So a couple things. You have the option to clone voices, which is really nice. Depending on which which version you're on. If you have the Ultra or the bundle version, you'll be able to have this. So I can go in here and say that I have, 5 people within my company. I could actually get a recording of their voice and be able to use them and select them as a voice to be generated when I'm creating an audiogram. So let's just say that John is our CEO, and we want John to be able to record some podcast interviews or just some audio content. John doesn't even need to be manually recording it himself. What I can do is I can click on Create New and say this is John, our CEO, and I can give him a little image if I wanted to. And then I could either record the statement right from within our built-in recorder, or you can actually upload a high resolution audio file of previous content that he has recorded, and we will have our built-in cloning engine be able to clone his voice. And so then when you go back and, I showed you before the AI generated voices, now you have a whole nother list of all these cloned voices. And you can do, the sky is the limit. You can really clone any voice that you want to, and now you can have them stored inside of your account. And so when I go in, I could just, write up some text or have the AI generate the text for me. And then I can select John, the CEO, and it'll output John's voice. So it's super, super cool. It's a really nice feature. The other thing that I wanted to mention is, so like here, actually before I do that, so like we did a couple here. So like Elon Musk.
Today, we'll explore a variety of topics to ensure this voice model captures the full range of human expression. Let's start with something simple.
All right. And then like here's Bill Gates.
Today, we'll explore a variety of topics to ensure this voice model captures the full range of human expression.
So you can see like how realistic that sounds. So just imagine doing that, deploying that for your clients or just your own internal team, or having like a virtual assistant go in here and create all sorts of really nice audio content that your CEO or people within your company don't even have to manually be recording these voiceovers. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is we do allow you to add users. So if I wanted to, I could create a new user and I could enter their email address, give them a role if I want them just to be a normal user or have full control, and then select which workspaces they should have access to. So again, if you have virtual assistants, if you have clients and you want to give them access to one of these workspaces, you're able to do that. It'll send them an email, it'll invite them, and they'll be able to access the different audiograms or projects that are within your workspace. Now I'm going to go back to the dashboard and then we'll go ahead and download that rendered video. Okay, so it's completed. So I'm going to go ahead and download it and we will listen to it here. Let me just let it finish downloading.
Digital Kickstart presents Off the Record, Behind the Curtain of Marketing Millionaires with your host, Mark Thompson.
Okay, sorry about that. I actually have to move this so you can see it. So now you heard the intro. I just paused it. So now I'm going to play the rest of it.
Want to boost your email open rates? The secret might be simpler than you think. Personalize your subject lines. With email inboxes more cluttered than ever, adding a personal touch can make your message stand out. Start by using the recipient's first name. All right, so I'm not going to play the whole thing just so you can see, but so as you can hear, so we had the intro that played at the very beginning, and then we had the actual, the audiogram with the caption showing, and then it highlighted it. So really cool, guys. Like, it's super easy to use and very accurate. As you can hear, it sounded like a realistic voice. And as I said, with the cloned voice feature, that it just takes it to the next level. So that is Audgram. Go ahead and click the button on this page to get access to Audgram today.
Okay, so we are back. So Mark, you mentioned before we cut to that clip that there was going to be like a traditional launch. I mean, if they want, they can go through a sales funnel and buy it one by one, or there's that bundle that's going to give them everything. Do you know off the top of your head, I'm putting you on the spot here, how much they're saving approximately if they get the bundle?
Yeah, it's 40%. So, I mean, it's a pretty significant deal. And then also, the first upsell that we have in our funnel is the upgrade to Ultra, which that is a monthly or annual subscription. However, if you purchase the bundle, then you bypass that subscription. So you're also saving on the longer that you're using it. You're not being getting charged recurring.
So if you go through the sales funnel and you buy that first upgrade, then it's a reoccurring one. But if you get it in the bundle, it's not reoccurring.
Correct. Yeah, and you'll get a lot more. I forgot. I think it's 3 times more. I think you get like 900 credits. So you get about 15 hours each month of credits that you can use for generating your audiograms. And then you'll also get 40% discount on additional credits that you may need. Most people are probably not going to use more than 15 hours of rendering time. However,
that's a long time to use.
It's a lot, and we're pretty generous with it. And our credit, I mean, even if you do need more credits, it's very reasonable. And again, the majority of you probably won't. But however, with the bundle offer, you will have agency rights, so you'll be able to create different workspaces for each of your clients. So almost like sub accounts within your main account. So you can invite users into those different workspaces, and you can even sell this as a service. So I'm sure some of your audience, they may be marketing agencies or they're looking for an additional revenue stream. Mm-hmm. The bundle deal is great because you can create those different workspaces. You can organize each of your clients in a workspace, and you'll have additional credits. And then you'll also you also get 40% off of our credits compared to the normal kind of professional license that we have.
So you touched on the first upgrade again that's included in that bundle, but if they do go through, that one's going to give you the big thing. It sounds like you get the extra the 900 plus extra minutes. And there's also a max, it looks like 60 minutes max on the audiogram length for that one. And I think that if you just get the one on the front end, it's a 10-minute max. That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, and so obviously, depending on what your use case is, you may want longer clips. We always recommend and prefer to have shorter, punchier clips. Obviously, people's attention span has shrunk a lot, so it's hard to get people, even for like webinars, to get people to hang on for an hour, hour and a half. Those attention time spans have
even
shrunk.
Interviews, it's hard to get people. I used to do really long ones back in the day. I've cut them shorter just because of people's attention spans.
You have to, right? So we would prefer to have shorter clips, but for those of you who may want longer clips, you'll have up to an hour. So we can't keep it endless just because we do have, some hard costs on our end to be rendering all this stuff and to generate the AI voices and the captions and all that stuff is kind of, just baked right into the minutes that you're getting access to.
You've also got another upgrade in the funnel, Easy VSL.
Yep. Yeah. So here's my take on content in general. In today's world, people don't want just one form of content. They get bored with it. While it may be you want to have consistent branding, I always like to have different variations of my content. And so we did our number one best-selling product of all time is called Easy VSL. It helps you to create a couple of different types of videos. So you can create video sales letters. You can create what we call kinetic typography, which is kind of like animated text, just very visually appealing. And then we have what are called live action videos, which are kind of those videos that you see on TikTok and Instagram where people, they're like live videos, and we have AI components with that as well. So with that software, you're going to be able to create 3 other types of videos, and just to give some variety to your audience. And so audiograms are great for, again, one style of video, but EasyVSL will give you 3 additional styles, which is nice.
To remember that a lot of times we assume that everyone consumes content the way that we do. And I'm on Facebook, and the younger people aren't on Facebook anymore, right? Like people are all on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. Or I don't listen to a ton of podcasts, but I know there are so many people that listen to them like crazy. I prefer to watch a video like this, but I know there's so many people out there that are just not like me. They are maybe on the bus, they're out and about, they're on their phones, and they don't have the same kind of lifestyle that I do. So you can't assume that everyone is just like you. You kind of have to be what do they used to say? Like be everywhere,
Yeah.
be all over the place. And this kind of like you mentioned here, you're going to be able to get people with the audio, you're going to be able to get people with video, and just gotta try to go to where they are because they're not going to come come to you. You need to go to them. You also have another one, Easy Image AI.
Mhm. Yeah, so this is our AI image generation tool. So you can not only use this for Oddgram if you want. So it's an AI. If you just put in a prompt and it'll generate an image for you, and so you can use it for as part of the templates that we have. So in Oddgram, as you guys saw, there's customizable templates. If you want to import some custom images, you can do that right from Easy Image AI. Or you could just use it for other parts of your business that you need images. So instead of having a subscription to Midjourney or ChatGPT, you can use this. You can create unlimited images, and you can use it for your own personal marketing and sales, or even for your clients as well.
Upsell number 4, Social Tail.
Yeah. So like as you mentioned, it's important to cast a large net and get your content out on all these different platforms. So Social Tail is your social media management tool. So you can take your content and be able to syndicate it on lots of different platforms. So I think there's 10 or 12 different platforms, all the big ones, all your X, your YouTube, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, TikTok, all these different platforms we support. And it helps you to manage your content calendar. So you can invite your different users, or maybe you have an editor or some VAs that are helping you manage your content calendar. You're able to easily do that right inside of Social Tail. There's also some cool AI components as well. So you're able to create all of your descriptions, your titles, your headlines. You can do that right with AI. You can make them unique. So like one description, usually like with LinkedIn, you may want to have a longer description, whereas with X or Twitter, you only have a certain number of characters. And so this system will help you to create all those variations of the description of your video or image that you have, and make it super easy. And again, it's more of a collaboration area for all of your content.
And I didn't even know that that was in the sales funnel until the interview right now.
Oh.
And that just makes perfect sense with what we were talking about today, with the fact that you're not only like you're going to be able to take, maybe you've already got a video and you're uploading it to the system and creating an audio, or maybe you just got text or whatever. I mean, you can take all this different content that you have, depending upon what your business is, whatever. Everyone's is going to be different, but you can transform that into all these different types of media. And with social, what was it?
Social Tail. Yep.
Social Tail, all these names. I expected to have like Ninja or something. But the Social Tail, you're going to be able to actually go out there and drive traffic with it. I mean, because that's what we're trying to do with this. Like when it comes down to all of this, and that's the interesting thing about AI is we've got this new technology that can create these things and do these crazy things. But what's important is what kind of results is this going to get for us? And it sounds to me like your software is designed in order to do things that we all want. It's designed to put on social media to drive traffic. It's designed to create a rapport with your audience. The reason why, like doing audio and doing video and doing it so it's not just text, the reason why people do that is because it builds a relationship with people. People trust people. People like to see that. And you're kind of cheating in a way with the fact that normally I put all this effort into doing video content, but you're kind of got the shortcut to that, where it's kind of almost like a hybrid between that. It is a hybrid of that video and video content and audio and trust. I mean, you got so much stuff going on. You can put like a picture of someone on there. It's pretty smart.
Yeah, and one other thing with Social Tail that I want to mention, we have what we call our Engagement Explorer. So, obviously it's great. We need to create content, but if you take a step back, you need to figure out like, well, what does your audience want? What type of content do they want? What's going to lead to more engagement? And so in our Engagement Explorer, you can actually search for a topic in your niche, and it'll go out and search the web and social media and find what type of content are people engaging with? What's leading to more likes, comments, and shares? And you can review all that. So it does have a research component to it. So you can start to figure out and start to brainstorm, well, what type of content do I actually want to create? And so a lot of people create content just for the sake of creating it because they heard it 1,000 times. But what they don't realize is you need to have some sort of a strategy involved with it, and what does your audience want? And so that tool is worth gold in and of itself, just because of it'll help bring to the forefront what does your audience actually like, and then that'll help to generate and brainstorm some ideas of what type of content you can create.
Yeah, because you don't want to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
You don't want to be. I don't have time to test out all these different things. That's why when I'm doing, like, over the years of doing interviews and videos on YouTube, I'm able to see what is converting, what people like more, and it's with these kind of metrics that you're able to kind of see what. Okay, so if people like this kind of stuff, let's do this. And for me, it's taken a long time because I have to do a 45-minute or whatever interview, and that takes a long time. With this, you can kind of even gauge your audience really, really quickly by creating content quickly, seeing what they like, seeing what they don't like. And if you get the bundle discount here, you're going to get that software social tail in there as well to be able to do all the research. It just all makes sense. I'm sold on it, Mark. You've got me you've got me on it here today.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's it. Is there anything else? Anything you want to mention? You got that webinar coming up before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, the webinar is obviously going to be the best deal that we have. It'll also be your opportunity to ask any questions that you may have. So we're going to do a full demo. I mean, obviously, I know you just saw the demo in the interview, but we'll be doing another full demo, and that'll be your opportunity to ask questions. So I'd love to have you guys on. And obviously, like, with any of our software, we always love to get feedback as well and be like, oh, it'd be really cool if it did this and that. This is a new technology. It's a new platform. So it is still relatively young, but you guys are getting in on the ground floor. It already does a lot of really cool, powerful stuff, as you guys saw, but we're always open to feedback. So if you want to jump on there, I'd love to hear from the horse's mouth and see how we can continue to improve it, not just during the launch, but after, for months and years to come. So
again, thank you so much for coming on the show, and best of luck with your launch.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.